All right, so today we're going to talk about solving equations with variables on both sides. Yesterday we talked about one and multi-step equations. Now we're going to continue working with multi-step equations, just having to move and combine the variables before we can start getting it by itself. So yesterday we talked about using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division to solve. Today we're working on solving equations with variables on both sides of the equation. When we do this, we need to think of the variables as family members. They should be together. That means that before we solve, all of our variables need to be combined on one side. We will move our variables around by using the ideas we learned on day 8. If the variable is a positive, we will move it by subtraction. If the variable is a negative, we will move it by addition. You should never multiply or divide before you add or subtract. So let's go ahead and try a few. Okay, so remember every equation has two sides. So let's solve by putting all the variables to the left side. We're going to do this same equation two different ways. So I'm going to write it here. Okay, this one says move it all to the left side. So we want to get rid of our x. Okay, it's a positive x. So we're going to subtract to get rid of it. That way, all my x's now are on the left side. From here, go ahead and just solve. So minus 5 on both sides. So you get x equals 8. On the other side, now put all the variables on the right side. Okay, so that means we are going to take the 2x and subtract it. Positive 2x minus 2x now. So you get 5 equals x minus 2x. Remember, this is a 1x, so it's 1 minus 2. You get negative 1x plus 3. Okay, the variables are all on the right side now, so now we have to move numbers from this side over here to the left. So we're going to do that first by getting rid of the positive 3. Subtract it. So now you're left with 2 equals negative 1x. The x is still not by itself, so now we have to divide. You get negative 2 equals x. At least we should. Nope, I'm sorry, that's totally my bad. Let's go ahead and redo that problem. This is why it is important to copy the problem down correctly. I wrote plus 3 when it's minus or plus 13. So same steps here, subtract, get negative x plus 13, subtract 13 on both sides, and you get negative 8 equals negative x, divide by negative 1, you get 8 equals x. Are those the same? Yeah. X equals 8 and 8 equals x mean the same exact thing. So which side should we move all the variables to? Does it matter? No, it does not matter. Okay, is one way easier than the other? Okay, the easiest way is moving the variable, the smallest variable first. Okay, so moving the smallest variable to one side is the easiest way. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. In number 1, 7x minus 3 equals 6x plus 9. What is your smallest variable? Our smallest variable is 6x, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Positive 6x, so to do it, you got to subtract 6x on both sides. 7 minus 6 is 1x, minus 3 equals, all we're left with is a 9. Now go ahead and start getting the variable by itself by moving numbers away. You're left with x equals 6. So in this way, we move it to the left. What's our smallest variable in number 2? Again, it's 6x, but notice it's on the left side. We still want to get rid of it and move it to the right now. These cancel. You're left with 13 equals 2x plus 5. From now, we want to go ahead and start getting rid of all the numbers from the side with our x on it. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 5, 8 equals 2x, and divide by 2 to get 4 equals x. Okay, again, it doesn't matter if the x is on the right or the left, you're still going to come up with the correct answer. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 3. What is your smaller x? Okay, 2/3 is our smaller x, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that first. So subtract 2/3 x on both sides. These cancel, you're left with 2 equals. Now remember, what does it take? What can you do when you're subtracting equations? That you need to have the same denominator. Do we have the same? Yes. So 4 minus 2 is 2. Denominator stays the same. Bring the x along. So minus 8. Okay, so now go ahead and start solving on both sides. Plus 8. You get 10 equals 2 over 3x. Okay, we talked yesterday. What can we do now? You can multiply by the reciprocal on both sides, and you should get rid of our fraction. So x equals 3 times 10 is 30, divided by 2 is 15. All right, number 4 is a little different. Number 4 here, what we're doing is distributing first. Okay, you always want to simplify the most you can by either distributing or combining your like terms. So here we have to distribute first. 2 times 4x is 8x, and 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Okay, which one is our smaller x? Okay, there's our smaller x, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that on this side. So you get 6x minus 10 equals 3. So now all of our variables are on this side here, or our one variable is on this side here, so we have to move all the numbers away from it. So add or subtract first, so we're going to add 10 since this is a negative 10. You're left with 6x equals 13. Divide, you get x equals 13 over 6. Can you simplify 13 over 6? No. That's your final answer. Remember, we want it in fraction form, no decimals unless it says round to the nearest hundredth and it starts in decimals, then you can keep it there. Let's try some more. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try one or two, and then you're going to try one or two. So 4x plus 4 equals 8x minus 12. So what's our smallest x? Our smallest x is right here. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that first. Cancels, you're left with 4 equals 8x minus 4x is 4x minus 12. So now go ahead and start solving. Okay, what do we want to move first? You want to move this negative 12. So plus 12 on both sides. So 4x equals 16. We're showing 4 times x, so the opposite would be to divide. And you're left with 4 equals x. I'm going to try number 3, and then you can try 2 on your own. Okay, so what is our smallest x? Our smallest x is 1/5 x, so we're going to get rid of that first. So minus 1 over 5x, since it's a positive. Those cancel, so your 2 minus 1, since our denominators are the same, we can subtract across. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Denominator stays the same. So now all our variables are on the left side. We got to get rid of the negative 10 first, so you're going to add 10 on both sides. 1/5 x equals 12. So now you can go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal, which is just 5 over 1. So you're going to come up with x equals 60. Why don't you go ahead and try number 2 on your own. All right, number 2, hopefully you did all right here. Okay, hopefully you noticed that the smallest x was negative 13x. Remember, the negative numbers are always going to be the lower than the positive numbers. Okay, if you move the 9x on both sides, still fine. You may have had another step in the end, but you still hopefully came up with the same answer. Let's go ahead and try number 4. Okay, number 4 is a little bit difficult because you have to distribute and combine like terms. So there's a lot of steps that we have been working on with here. So go ahead and distribute first. You get 3x plus 9 plus 22 equals, gotta distribute here too. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 5 is positive 30. So we're going to go ahead now and combine our like terms. Remember, combining like terms only stays on one side of the equation. So if we're covering some up here, cover this up and just look at the one side. What do we have as like terms? Okay, you got 9 and 22 as like terms. So you have 3x plus 31 equals. Are there any like terms on the right side? No, so just rewrite it. Now we're right back to where we were before with variables on both sides. Our smallest x is negative 6x, so add 6x on both sides. 9x plus 31 equals, those cancel, 30. Okay, here all our variables now are on the right side, so we're going to go ahead and subtract 31 because this is a positive 31 and we need to do the opposite. So 9x equals 1, negative 1. Okay, divide. You get x equals negative 1 over 9. Why don't you give 5 and 6 a try on your own? So pause the video and give it a try. All right, take a look at your answers. Okay, number 2 you had to distribute, and then it didn't have to do much else. Okay, it was the same as we've been working on. 6, you had to distribute and then combine your like terms on the right side of the equation. Move your smaller x. Okay, add, subtract, then divide. And number 7, number 8, we were going to skip because we don't have a lot of room. So go ahead and skip those. Okay, periodically something very strange is going to happen when we try to solve our equation. So take a look. Try to solve this one. Go ahead, distribute. 2x minus 8 equals 2x minus 8. Okay, you have variables on both sides. They're both the same, so go ahead and move one of them. So we'll go ahead and move the 2x first. You get negative 8 equals, those cancels, you have negative 8. Okay, the variables all canceled, but you still have negative 8 equals negative 8. Okay, when this happens, when one constant equals another constant, what we're going to say is infinitely many solutions, which means you can plug any number into x and you're going to come up with the same answer every time. Okay, it does not matter, both sides are always going to equal each other, so infinitely many solutions. Okay, another situation that's going to happen is when you go ahead and solve and the two sides do not equal each other. Okay, so same x's, so we're going to go ahead and subtract 4x on both sides. Those cancel. 10, those cancel. Notice these do not equal each other. When this happens, we say no solution. Okay, this means when we can substitute any number in for x, and we are always going to come up with no solution. No answers are going to equal each other. All right, so let's try a couple. Wow, number 1 and number 2, we get hit with some big boys right away. 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times negative 12 is negative 36. Plus 5 equals, make sure you distribute here as well. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times negative 18 is negative 36. Plus 5x plus 5. Okay, remember, combine like terms on both sides of the equation. So let's take a look at the left. Okay, you have 9x no like terms, but then you have minus 36 plus 5, so negative 31. On the right side, you have 4x and 5x, which comes out to be 9x. And you also have negative 36 plus 5. So you get minus 31. Okay, from here, go ahead and move one of your x's. Those cancel, negative 31 equals, those cancel, negative 31. Do those numbers equal each other? Yes. So infinitely many solutions. I don't know if you figured it out yet. This word infinitely is a difficult word to spell. If you spell it wrong, I do not care. I have probably spelt it 2 or 3 different times already during these notes. Okay, so number 2. Let's try number 2. Go ahead and distribute. You get 2x times x. Now remember, when you're multiplying your variables together, you're adding the exponents. So 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's 2x squared. 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x plus 10x equals. Go ahead and distribute again. 2x squared plus 2x plus 10. Let's combine our like terms. Oh, I'm sorry, did not mean to highlight that. That is not a like term. We have negative 8x and positive 10x. 2x squared comes down, and you're left with plus 2x equals plus 2x plus 10. Over here would be your like terms as well. So you get 2x squared plus 2x plus 10. Okay, so go ahead, start moving your variables around. You get minus 2x squared on both sides. So you get 2x equals, those cancel, 2x plus 10. You still have variables to move, so go ahead and move one of them. Okay, let's get them together on one side. So you're going to subtract 2x. Those cancel, 0. Does 0 equal 10? No. So your answer is no solution. All right, why don't you go ahead and try the next couple on your own. All right, hopefully you did all right in the last two. Okay, notice here, negative 38 equals negative 38, so you're going to have many solutions. Over here, no solution. They do not equal each other. Okay, so your homework tonight is worksheet 8 in your homework packet. Worksheet 8. Remember, if you need to, I went through this pretty quick, but if you need to, go back and pause it and re-watch it again. Please, please, please do that. If you have any questions, come find me throughout the day and we'll take care of them then. Have a very good day.